So let's look at cycles in relationship to EFC. So this will bring the model alive, and I think it will also be, it's pretty practical actually for getting the most from the course. So we have this seasons model, beginning, middle, end, ended, spring, summer, autumn, winter, meeting, relationship, parting, ended, aloneness, turning on, turning off, different ways of looking at cycles, same basic model. How does it apply to EFC? Day, module, and course. All right, so first thing I'll say is the EFC is this U-curve, we call it, the U shape of increasing depth. So as any day, module on the whole year goes on, the design is there's a way in, like an introduction, a deep transformational part, and then an integration afterwards. And in fact, if you're in the second half of the course, any training needs to be designed this way, I think, for it to be effective. So a day may sort of warm up gently, a bit of a check-in, meditation, some sort of hardcore work, and then in the evening maybe something a bit more pleasant, more enjoyable, more relaxed, integrating it, and just coming down from that. So that's in one day. Equally in your coursework, you kind of have a U-curve as well. So the beginning of the day is where you're setting up the day. Yeah, so it's the meditation, the movement practice, the reflection on the day ahead. Then you have your day, that's the meat in the sandwich, tofu if you're a vegetarian. And then we have the reflection at the end of the day where you go, oh, how was that day? You know, how was my body in that day? And that creates a learning cycle. So learning cycles is another way of looking at cycles. So we have the day of EFC, the module of EFC is the same. You know, we're not going to do the most hardcore shit immediately before we send you home because you'll be like trying to drive and be totally spaced out or have stuff to integrate. So we try and make each module, I think we do, have a period of introduction, intensity and integration at the end. Again, the U-curve for the module and the same U-curve for the course. A little bit disrupted by the fact that the demonstrations you'll do at the end will be quite intense for a lot of people, but we still like after that to have this integrative period. And the winter of EFC is actually after EFC. So this is where we say, don't sign up for another intense course that, I don't know, if we end in November, don't start another one in December. Maybe start one in March or April if you want to do another one, a different intense course. So there's a winter period after EFC. So the actual EFC course is more like spring, summer, autumn. And then the winter we just set up for you to do on your own because it wouldn't really make sense to have a module where everyone just did nothing. Okay, so that's how the cycles and seasons, I think, apply in EFC. How does it go wrong? Or how do your personal patterns get exposed? Some people start really strong, they're like, this is the best course in the world, and then they quit halfway through. We had that before. Someone just didn't show up for the last module and said they loved it, but they just didn't show up for the last module. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, other people are very, very cautious at the start. They're not really making friends. They're not trusting myself or the other teachers. They're very cautious. And then towards the end of the course, they really open up. That's fine, but they may have missed a bit of an opportunity. Yeah. Every module, we also see either clinging or leaving early. So every day in every module, you'll see the same patterns in leaving, where there'll be someone at the end who's like, oh, just one more thing. And oh, Mark, can I just ask you about this? And I'm like, fuck off, I want to go see my wife. You know, it's the end of the day. And, you know, I'll hang out for a little bit, but there'll come a cut-off point, yeah? Other people will be, you know, 2 hours before the end, or even the whole last day of each module, you can see them sort of looking at their phone or looking out the window, thinking about what they've got to do at work the next day. Don't go to work the next day. Have a day off after EFC. Have a winter after each module. Please, please, please do not be client facing the next day. I really do not recommend that. I wouldn't do it. Anyway, so they're patterns that we see, not allowing yourself a winter afterwards, clinging or leaving early. Yeah, they're patterns we manage them together, hopefully have a sense of humor around some of this stuff. You'll see me say, grab your ass, mindfulness of booty, this is where you are, don't leave early. Getting stuck in, these are patterns that will be exposed on EFC and that we can manage. I hope this video both says a little bit more about EFC design so you can have a better experience, so you can then design trainings with this sort of thing in mind. And also it helps you sort of look at some of your patterns as they occur and enriches this cycles model that can seem abstract in a very, yeah, it's very concrete on EFC actually.